Hey there, I'm Jen Ricker and I own Zen Fitness. I'm one of the head instructors here and I've been teaching fitness for about 12 years in the Sudbury area, and I'm a part of the Zen Wellness program along with Dana, and I'm here to teach you or to help and inspire you build a home practice, a home movement practice. So my idea, and I know Dana presents it a lot in the wellness program too, is to make things simple as possible and also to make them as stress-free as possible. Just like how we can stress about our eating, it can be counterproductive. It's the same thing with fitness. If we stress about our fitness practice, if we think that we, have to follow these rules or everything has to kind of fit in a box and we kind of stress about it, it can be counterproductive to our practice, our home practice. And what I think is the number one function and focus of practice should be that time of presence, that time to kind of check in with your body, check in with your movement, check in with your breathing, and check in with yourself. The best gift we can give ourselves is that, little bit of the day to really close off everything else and kind of just focus on us and the way we move. So that plus consistency. We are born to move. As humans, we want to be moving, but our lifestyle doesn't really, support that as much as it used to back in the day. We sit in seats all day, we work at office jobs, or if we do have an active job, a lot of time it's repetitive movement. And then we sit to drive. There's so much sitting that's happening. We really have to push ourselves to move. So that being said, our minds are overactive. We work our minds so much at our job, thinking or even worrying, stressing, or organizing. If you're the head of the household, all the things, all the pieces, all the balls you have in the air, to keep them up there, it takes a lot of brain power. So when the brain's working super hard, sometimes we don't have the energy left to focus on our body. And that's maybe how we get into the situation of not having a workout practice. We just don't have that energy. But then it's like if we work out, we have more energy. It's kind of like a double-edged sword. What has to come first? And what I think what has to come first is inspiration. Inspiration, consistency, and that active presence, that act of shutting everything else off, tuning yourself in, and moving your body. So if we're talking about consistency, we've got to make it easy. We've got to make it fit into our lives. We've got to make it super, super simple to do every day. So we don't hammer the body every day. I'm not going to encourage you to push the hardest, be the most explosive, all that sort of stuff every day. That's not how we start a practice. I think we make realistic goals, we set realistic expectations, and we feel what works for us, and something that we can hold ourselves accountable to, we can enjoy, and then all of those things kind of lead to that consistency. So I'm going to make this as simple as I can. And today I'm not even going to do any movements. This is a series of 5 videos, and throughout that I will show you different techniques and different ideas that you're going to be able to use to build your own practice. And when I talk about realistic expectations, my realistic expectation is that we're going to build a 10-minute, mat time, 10-minute me time for you to roll out your mat and spend some time working on mobility, flexibility, and a little bit of strength work. Is that doable? Can we all have an extra 10 minutes in the day? I know it might, maybe you're like, no, I don't even have that, but we all can spare 10 minutes. I believe 10 minutes can make a huge impact. So first thing is inspiration. How are we going to get inspired to move? how are we going to, how are we going to get inspired to move? I think number one, building that little bit of a space, carving out a little bit of a space for us that we can be alone, that we can roll out our mats, and that we can get into our workout. So, and maybe being alone is out of a realistic expectation, especially for all those mamas out there. But carving out some kind of space. You don't need much either, a yoga mat. Secondly, getting a yoga mat. It really does help. It helps set up the space. It helps put us in the mindset. And it also gives a little bit of padding for under the knees, because we will spend a little bit of time on our hands and knees. So number one, getting a space. Number two, setting a timer. I like to set a timer. It's 10 minutes. You set the timer and your goal is to be on your mat for 10 minutes. Even if you spend 10 minutes in child's pose, and if you have no idea what I'm talking about, this is a child's pose. Even if you spent 10 minutes in a child's pose, you're still hitting your mat and you're still doing your movement, because what was one of our goals? Consistency. So carving out 10 minutes, setting a timer, because this is what happens when we don't set a timer. I find for myself, especially in a home practice, we will be like, oh wait, I gotta do the dishes, I gotta do the laundry, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. When I would set a timer, I could always bring myself back to the timer and think, when that beeps, then I will address those things. Because when we let our minds go to all those other things, we're doing ourselves a disservice. We are not focused on our practice. So I like to set the timer, and if I feel that anxiousness, especially being in your space, seeing all the things you need to do, I bring my awareness back to the timer. I can address that even in my mind when that timer goes off. So setting up a space, setting a timer. Hey, let's take it a step further, even if you get a little workout outfit on to help inspire you. And then the last one is music. Music is always a great source of inspiration. It helps keep me going. It helps drive me forward. And so setting a great playlist. And that could be playlist and timer as well if you wanted to get a bit creative with it. And I use Spotify, and feel free to follow me, Jen Ricker, on Spotify for some inspiring playlists. But I feel like setting a really great playlist, and whether you put your earbuds in or you can turn it on in your space, you've kind of just set yourself up to have a 10-minute appointment, a 10-minute date with yourself, where you even have a little bit of mood music. You've got maybe your cute outfit that you put on for yourself. You roll out your nice yoga mat, and even if you take child's pose for the 10 minutes, you're checking in and you're giving yourself that little bit of time for movement. So that's my challenge for you. The first challenge is to find that inspiring place, maybe even the inspiring outfit. I'm not going to push that. Maybe that's not where your mentality is, but for me, it's like when my workout clothes are a little bit cuter, I get into it. A yoga mat, maybe that could be your little bit of a fun purchase. And then set that playlist. Make that playlist something that's going to inspire you to move. Set your timer and just try it out. Don't think about the sweat that you need to have. Don't think about the heavy breathing that we need to get to, or that we need to hammer the body, that we need to push all the time. Don't think of that. We set realistic, small goals. So how about that? Let's try to spend a little bit of time on our mats. And then in the next video, I'm going to give you a few techniques to kind of add to that 10-minute practice of yours. Until next time.